Alright, well, guys, welcome back to WarioWare, which is going to wrap this game up.
Do you remember when we started it? Well, now we're finishing it.
Yep. It's been like a couple of months now, but now we're going to finally wrap it up, and honestly, like, a pretty short game, isn't it?
Well, if you're just doing the main story modes.
Yeah.
There's also the extra stuff, but that's probably more interesting if it's done in a live stream or something.
That's always something we need to do, because I always want to go back on Faded streaming. Like, the last one was 4 years ago. We'll definitely want to do like another one. Faded's Castle. Oh no, it's like the upload schedule. Upload schedule, man. There's me sleeping. There's me sleeping because I'm not uploading.
Wow, you've let your stuff go.
Oh no, another 12 months without uploading.
Prince Faded must be saved.
Which one should be the prince, you or me? I know it's the viewers asking to release a video. It's the ad blocker. Please do this game for us, please, Faded. Nope, denied. Oh gosh, she hung herself. Or he did.
He got turned to a Navi.
This doesn't feel like the same game. This got deep. Ninja girl, save me.
Well, I mean, all of these main characters except for Wario were introduced specifically to this game.
So these ninja girls in any game, they always have like pink feathers and all that. It's like Ninja Gaiden had one as well.
Well, because pink is a color that people naturally associate with women.
Yeah.
Girls.
Yeah, but it was like, what are the odds? Like, pink ninja with the pink feathers, like, they all do that. This got intense.
And just to warn you guys, you're going to be seeing a lot of my failures. But if I didn't fail this much, then it would be a really short commentary part.
Oh, there's Wario. Forgot about him.
Yeah, this mixed in some of Wario's mini games.
Yeah.
Like,
what a story.
Has him at a higher difficulty than when we played him in the introduction story.
What a story. Such a story here.
Yeah, the themes of these micro games, the original ones in this story are nature themed. Besides being ninjas, the girls in this story are nature lovers.
Aww.
Or at least they're implied to be nature lovers.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever been on a nature walk as a kid?
Yeah, I feel like I have a few times. I don't have like a good memory of it, but I know I have. I remember though I did hiking as well. And it was like one of my friends, he thinks he was all tough and all that, saying like, oh wow, look, a snake. He was about to hold it, and then it bit his finger and he had to go to the hospital. So don't do that, guys. That's all I remember from camping in the wilderness. This driving is just outdoorsy.
Yep.
Catch fruit. So we don't get like Game Boys, they're like such an error. You think it would be like cheap games to make, but there's like a lot of thought into it. But don't get me wrong, there's like many like bad Game Boy games out there, but there's some great gems from them. Some surprisingly good as well. You know, we just don't get those types of games nowadays.
It's actually pretty weird.
Yeah, like this era existed. Like,
I mean, even with the DS era, you can say that that's a continuation of the Game Boy Advance era because of how short-lived the Game Boy Advance was.
it was, yeah.
Not to mention, if you've seen a DS game with 2D graphics, those are the ones that look the most beautiful.
Honestly, yeah. Don't know how they do it. They just put a whole lot of effort into it. I was just like blown away at the idea you can like put Game Boy games in a GameCube and you can look at it on the big screen. It's like, wow! I didn't even have a GameCube.
It's actually been something that's been done since the Super NES era.
Yeah.
Super Game Boy.
Just like that idea, yeah.
GameCube's Game Boy player is definitely the same thing, but with GBA games.
Yeah.
And also Game Boy and Game Boy Color.
Yeah, just GBA for the GameCube, wasn't it? Because my friends owned a GameCube, that's when I played all the GameCube games, because I never had one. But we played like Mario Sunshine, Smash Bros, Mario Kart, those stuff. And then when they slot in their Pokemon Emerald into the GameCube, I'm like, what? You can do that? It's like, I'm so jealous. My parents have always been like straight, like one console, because they think like that's all that matters. So I was just stuck with, yeah. They don't get it.
That's how my parents are.
It's like, you already have a console. It's like, yeah, but this is different. It's like, what is this? And then like when the next gen comes out, it's like, don't you already have a Nintendo? It's like, yeah, that was the Wii. Like, why do we need this one? Because it's different. My mom always says I still have the PS3. Like, I have the PS5 now. They're always just so out of touch.
And isn't the PS3 everyone's least favorite PlayStation?
Yeah, it's just like
because of
not worth it.
Because of how poorly it started out.
It did, yeah.
Considering that it had to compete against the Xbox and the Wii.
Yeah.
At least it ended up having a bittersweet ending.
It did, yeah.
You know, people are able to look back at it more fondly. And it did have its own gems like Metal Gear Solid 4 and the Ratchet & Clank Future series.
Yeah, exactly. There was some underrated stuff to it. But yeah, like, it's not their fault it like didn't sell much, but up against 360 and Wii, like, come on.
And not to mention that Sony was still able to bounce back with the PS4.
Yeah. Like, it was tough competition at the time, and it was why, like, yeah, I went for 360 over PS3, and then the next consoles, yeah, I did go for PS4 over the Xbox One. Yeah, for me it was like PS2, Wii, Xbox 360, then PS4, Switch, and then PS5. Not including the handheld consoles.
Alright, I finally won this.
So, like, my consoles were so mixed around. But as a kid, I had the PS2 until 2006. Till mom, like, was convinced to get the Wii. I don't get it, aren't they all the same? Like, no!
The Wii was my first console.
Whoa, shit. Did you have handheld games beforehand, or?
The DS was my first handheld console.
Yeah. Was that like 06 or?
2007.
Oh wow.
You know, when all the good games had finally come out for the system. And got to play Mario Galaxy as my first Mario game.
Oh, that was an amazing start. For me, like I maybe say like, oh, I had a PS2 as a kid, I had all these, but it's like, I never beat them because, well, I'm like 4 or 5. My dad gave me a Tomb Raider game, I couldn't beat the first level. so I just like bin that. And same with like other games, so I just had the baby games. So, you know, like the SpongeBob games or Lego games, those ones I remember. So it's not like
The Lego games are not for babies.
I know. I say that because like that's how my childlike function. Like, oh, I can't beat this. I can't beat a Tomb Raider game or Metal Gear.
Well, I mean, to be fair, those are like T-rated.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's more for older audiences who understand Lego games like the back of their head.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm like 4-year-old me, like I can't play those types of games. Even though like Dad bought Tomb Raider for himself, he couldn't beat it, so he gave it to me and I couldn't beat it. But I didn't know what everything was, especially the camera controls.
Yeah, because isn't Tomb Raider tank controlled?
It was, but the one I had, it was I don't know, it was like the black sheep of Tomb Raider. Hold on, I need to remember what the name was.
Was it Tomb Raider 6 or one of the reboot ones that were, the reboot trilogy? The first time it was rebooted, Legend, Anniversary, Underworld.
It was the Angel of Darkness.
Yeah, Angel of Darkness.
That was a rough one.
Yeah, that. From what I understand, that killed the original Tomb Raider series.
Yeah.
And what was worse was that the cover was an homage to the live-action movie at the time, so you can tell they were just trying to cash in on the fact that Tomb Raider was being adapted for the big screen.
I remember it had nothing to do with Tombs at all. It's just trying to be like a action-pack type of game. So yeah, of course that was my first introduction to Tomb Raider.
Pretty bad introduction.
But Game Boy games like this, like I loved.
I thought of something. You know how the original 3 Tomb Raider games got a remastered collection?
Oh yeah.
Maybe if it sells well enough and they decide to do a Volume 2 with Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6, maybe they could make Angel of Darkness actually good.
That's the thing, like, it would make sense to remake the games that didn't do well, and they just fix it or patch it up, but they always go for the ones that are fine, that everyone loves, that doesn't need remakes. Like, it makes sense to do like Resident Evil 6, because there's so much they need to fix on that, but no, they just go for the most popular, because they can capitalize on it and it'll sell more, because everyone loves it.
Yeah, and while RE4 is still considered to be a good remake,
it's not as good as the original.
There are still the people that question on whether or not it did need a remake in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, you can still play the original, like, you can still play it on Steam, I'm sure you can get on anything else. It's just like, it has its flaws, like, it's not like a perfect remake. I'm sure all the diehard Resident Evil fans would know that too. And it's also about sales as well, because of the first Dead Space remake, because it didn't sell so well. They announced recently that they are not doing a Dead Space 2 remake. Just because the first one didn't do so well and everyone's so bummed out about it. It's like, oh wait, Dead Space 2, that's like the perfect sequel to the best horror games ever. And now they couldn't do it. It's like...
Yeah, it sucks when remakes like that get cancelled.
It's a shame, yeah.
It seems that remakes get cancelled even if the first remake sold well. For example, with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, from what I understand, the remake of that sold pretty well, and they were going to do Pro Skater 3 and 4, but then Activision merged Vicarious Visions with Blizzard,
Oh no.
and rather than just have the now Blizzard Albany do the development for Pro Skater 3 and 4, they basically just are like, since Vicarious Visions is now Blizzard Albany, there's not going to be a Pro Skater 3 and 4.
It's just a shame, like, we could have got something great.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like they were onto something. They could have done Pro Skater 3 and 4, and then afterwards they could have done the Underground games.
They could have done that, yeah. Like, skating games, like, man, what an era. You just, like, none of these hits nowadays. I know they tried with a modern Tony Hawk game, but that didn't do so well, just forced open world stuff.
Well, because it was poorly made.
Yeah, that too. And if they'd done a Skate 4, who knows what they would do with that. Like any sporting games need like an open world sort of setting or area, like it gives you side quests and stuff to do. They do that with all the sports games, so I wouldn't be surprised they do that with Skate 4 if that ever comes out. I know it's like, some say, oh, it already is an open world. It's like, no, it's a big sandbox game that you can mess around in. You could just like do whatever in the old skate games.
Yeah, I mean, definitely sounds fun.
It was, yeah. I did like a bit of Skate 2 more than Skate 3, just... Even then, like, the both, like, first 3 perfect. I don't know why they stopped making them. We can't get good stuff nowadays. Even the Princess Peach game, I heard some bad things about.
Yeah, I heard. I've heard in reviews that it could be a good game to get on sale, but do not pay full price for it.
Nope. Well, just play the demo and that's it, you're good.
This was Princess Peach's big comeback, being a main character after Super Princess Peach.
Is that when her superpower was like crying or being emotional?
Yeah, it was emotion.
Yeah, emotions.
Where Bowser had a hold of a magic wand to control emotions, and he used it to kidnap the Mario Bros. Since they were at Princess Peach's castle and Princess Peach was busy on a walk.
Yeah. So maybe that's why they don't want like the recent Peach game to be about emotions and crying. So even there, like from the gameplay, it looks too easy, and you shouldn't pay that much for it.
Wait, which Peach game?
The recent one, the one that just came out recently.
Yeah, I mean, why couldn't they have just done a remake of Super Princess Peach? Just like with the Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake that happened.
Yeah.
Earlier. Then again, I guess with that, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD and Thousand Year Door, there are already too many Mario games to be remade.
Oh, it's too many. I think they just ran out. I don't think they'll do Mario 64 or Sunshine. Galaxy, maybe not yet. It's still pretty modern.
Well, I mean, there was already 3D All-Stars.
There's that, yeah. They only released that for a month and that's it. That's weird.
Well, luckily I was able to ask my family to get me a game for Christmas. Or was it my birthday? It was my birthday. I got it as a birthday gift in 2020 because I asked for it.
Yeah.
and it's my preferred way of playing Galaxy nowadays.
The modern, yeah, it's the only way.
It makes me wish there was a Galaxy 2 HD.
I don't know why they couldn't do that. It's like, don't know why they would not do that, like, to not put on the 3D All-Star thing. It's like, what? You can't put 2 on there, but you have 1. Like, 2 is just as good as 1, some say even better. It's like if Zelda did 1. It's like, but it has Ocarina of Time on it, but no Majora's Mask. It's like, what?
Maybe that's how people were feeling before Majora's Mask 3D came out.
I bet, yeah. I don't know, if Zelda can like bring back Wind Waker or Twilight Princess, I don't care how much it is, I'll buy it no matter how much. I just want to replay those.
Yeah, port the HD Wii U versions onto Switch or Switch 2.
Oh yeah, Switch 2. I was like, because I don't want to do emulators all the time, but they just make me do it. Like, stop making things overpriced. And like, just bring back the games we asked for. And maybe we don't have to do all these emulator stuff and you break down our doors and sue us for tons of money. I'm kind of glad they brought back up the WarioWare games.
Yeah, me too. Where WarioWare Move It, which I have played since the last part. That definitely feels like smooth moves. It almost feels like no time has passed since smooth moves.
Yeah.
And that, and we get to see more motion control forms. And keep in mind, this is a motion controlled game where if you wanted to play a Wario game handheld on the Switch, then I guess you still have Get Together.
Yeah.
Which is a fine game.
Oh yeah, I bet. I need to pick it up soon. I think the last Switch game I got was Mario Wonder. I still need to get the Mario RPG one.
You should. That's a really great one.
Again, like another Mario reboot, remake.
Except it's a good remake.
Yeah, I heard great things about it.
That one's gonna go super high up in price. I guarantee it.
Yeah, it's just very rare that Nintendo like does discounts or decreases the price. I don't know if it's just we're getting tired of Switch games being like overpriced for no reason. Like it's not worth it.
I wasn't talking about now. I was talking about when the game goes out of print.
Out of print, yeah. It would definitely do that.
It happened with the original, and you probably need to raise $100 to just play the original version physically.
Yeah. Oh, I bet the OG one, yeah. It's like, even the Game Boy games can be like overpriced, like, especially Pokemon. Like, ridiculously high for no reason. It's even like, not just the Game Boy, but they do it for the DS as well. It should not be like $60 to $80.
Well, it's a good thing I collected all the Gen 6 and Gen 7 Pokemon games before they got that up in price.
Yeah. This game is just addicting to look at. I still keep my stuff, so I can always like buy new Game Boy games or DS games. I can always.
It's a good thing I still have some Game Boy and DSs around.
Yeah.
I wish it could have been easier to capture Game Boy and DS games.
I regretted not keeping the cases for some of the Game Boy games. Like some came in a box, some came in like a plastic case. The DS ones as well. I always felt like, oh, I need to throw these away. And future me is like, no! Those could be so valuable. Those could be like just perfect. All I kept was the instruction manuals. Which,
well, you at least kept the instruction manuals.
Which I'm glad, but the box, I'm like, ah! If only I could have kept Pokemon Emerald box. They looked so good too. Like dumb young me just throw them away for no reason.
And not to mention that it means you have more of a gold mine.
Yeah.
If you have it complete in box.
Exactly. But now I just have these Game Boy games. I just put them in a bag. It's like a little pouch thing. That's where I put all my Game Boy games. And the DS one, it like has a DS strapping sort of case as well. That's where I put all mine because dumb me like throwed away all the boxes and cases.
Like I can understand if it's the cardboard boxes, but why would you throw away the plastic cases?
I don't know. I just felt like, oh, if I already have like a little bag to put them in, I don't need the case anymore.
This is why people have the cases loose.
I don't.
And that if you go to a retro game store, they have DS cards in the glass cases.
Yeah.
Which are laid out like they're rings or something.
Yeah. I don't know what movie it was. It's like a man banging on the glass, seeing someone on the inside. And that's just like me, like, yelling at my young self to not throw away those cases and boxes. Say, no, don't do it!
Or it's like you go back in time to, and you dig the boxes out of the garbage can, yourself threw away.
Oh, yes. If time traveling exists, I would definitely do that. I keep all the stuff like young me threw away stupidly. All the good Pokemon cards, all the good games. I regret selling, throwing away, trading. This is like need to tell my young self, keep everything, don't sell anything, just be a hoarder. Trust me. I'm just in awe of what's going on right now.
Yeah. So,
which is used.
Like so with the final boss micro games, with it being Wario, it's either Wario going on a treasure hunt or Wario doing a dance that you have to copy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it tends to switch off between those types of boss mini games. So yeah, it started with the Wario treasure hunt one. And keep in mind, this was before Intelligent Systems took over. So it's pretty much the same team. It's pretty much the same team that did Wario Land 4, which came out 2 years prior.
Well, I can see the similarities.
Then there was Mega Party Games, which was when Intelligent Systems jumped on to the series. And it was pretty much Nintendo R&D 1 passing the torch to them.
So they can do it now.
Yeah.
It's very weird, like we get a lot of party games on Game Boy. Like no matter what it is, there's always like something racing or something party games. I had one for like Cartoon Network characters. It was like Cartoon Network racing and Cartoon Network board game sort of thing. So you can like be Johnny Bravo or one of the Ed, Edd and Eddy sort of thing.
Not to mention that the 6th generation of consoles was Mario Party Mania, and even the Game Boy Advance got a Mario Party.
Oh, especially Mario, yeah.
Although we can all agree that the only good Mario Party handheld was Mario Party DS.
Yep, that's it. The GameCube ones are good, yeah.
That game Mario Party DS needs to be referenced if there's ever a Mario Party Superstars 2.
It was just yeah.
They need to make a Superstars 2 with the GameCube boards. And with that, the gang's all here.
Woo! 3 weeks later.
You move along, I'm all out of time cards.
This Wario game.
It takes more than 3 weeks for companies to make a game. Although maybe since Wario hired all of his friends, except for Waluigi, then maybe they were able to get it done in 3 weeks, and maybe it was a toxic work environment, and everyone was overworked.
Yep.
Maybe that's why they're disappointed that Wario's hoarding all the money for himself.
Overworked and underpaid. Wario's not treating them fair, not giving them vacation time. No lunch breaks.
And also, as you see, Wario's about to get his comeuppance. Where it's also a thing in these games where it ends with Wario getting his comeuppance for being greedy.
I want to know how to make Game Boy games, because this is like high quality level. It's like a lot of thought and care into this game.
And not to mention that this pretty much revolutionized the style of gameplay they were going for.
Definitely. All the fun random games all come from this.
Yeah, and I'm sure that you've come across at least one WarioWare clone in your life.
Well, especially...
Yeah, you've probably known at least one person that has downloaded Dumb Ways to Die on their phone.
Yep. Revolutionary game. Way ahead of its time. And I hope you'll enjoy that. Let us know like what other games you want us to play and talk over. If it doesn't have to be retro games, it can be anything.
So. 454 next.
Yep. So I'll see if I can do stuff as well. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Right, next time, guys. We'll see you guys soon.